Nikuarifu kwamba gavana wa kaunti ya Trans Nzoia Gavana Natembeya kwa sasa yuko mbele ya kamati ya seneti kuhusu uhasibu ili kujibu maswali ambayo yanayofungamana na utumizi wa fedha za umma kutokana na ripoti ya mkaguzi mkuu wa hesabu. Hebu tusikize kidogo tu pale bungeni kinachoendelea, alafu mjadala wetu pia tutakuwa bado tunauendeleza hapa studio, lakini kwanza tusikize kinachoendelea pale bungeni.
Now, honorable members and clerks, make sure members have access to the ROR statement. Parliamentary Budget Office, what is the on-source revenue potential for Trans Nzoia County? Salat was not here. Now, OAG, you had some information on this. What is the OSR potential for Trans Nzoia?
The potential recorded by CRA, it's 4.7 billion, which includes an amount of 1.2 billion for the hospitals. So in effect, it's 3.5 billion. However, the information I have is that this figure has been appealed and has been settled at 2 billion. Following consultations with the county executive. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, so members, you can have that figure in mind. Maybe we could adopt the 2 billion as being more realistic. But just a look at the statement of receipts and disbursements under the ROR statement. Governor, your revenues dropped by 20 million. And the explanation is that there was a change in system. While the system was being changed, revenue was not being collected.
There was a bit of challenges because the change of from one system to the other was not smooth. The previous guy actually left with all the data, so we were forced to start from scratch, even in terms of mapping revenue streams. Of course, when you have that kind of situation, there could also be revenue leakages along the way before you stabilize. That's the major reason why we went low, but we have since peaked.
So if you look at, and I hope your receiver of revenue has given you a copy of the statement of receipts and disbursements for the year ended 30th June 2024. I think let's just have a look at that schedule and ask ourselves whether there is a bigger problem that we need to deal with. I don't know whether you have it. In the ROR statement, I don't think it's reproduced in the governor's report. So clerks, if you don't have a hard copy, please circulate it even in soft copy so that members can follow. So Governor, let's look at the first row on cess. The previous year you collected 44 million. And then the following year you collected 11 million. A difference of 33 million.
Yes.
How do you explain that using a system? If you go to single business permit, you collected 70 million, and then the year under review, 64 million. A difference of 6 million. Which then indicates that businesses shut down in Trans Nzoia. How is that explained by change of system? You go down, even parking fees from 63 million to 49 million. Market fees from 17 million to 13 million. Advertising from 17 million to 5 million. Conservancy administration from 5 million to 1 million. Physical planning and development from 4 million to 3 million. You know, it's a long, long list of variation. At the end of it all, the aggregate variation is 20 million. How is this explained? Simply that you changed a system. People were collecting money and pocketing. This is symptomatic of theft. unless, members, you are seeing the link between this and a change of system.
Chair, maybe through you, maybe what we may need to understand is what system are you changing from? What system was at play, and then what did we change to, so that we appreciate this loss, this leakage? What system was in place before the change?
Governor, it will also help us understand if you were to paint a picture of the time that it took for those system changes to be effected.
Governor?
Okay, thank you, Honorable Chair. I will be able to explain what transpired. The Governor has clearly mentioned that we had a changeover of system. And when you look at it, we are having changes, particularly in the single business permit. Honorable Chair, the change happened actually at the peak of most of the revenues. So we were not able to realize that because there is a requirement that you cannot collect revenue off the system. And we're only trying to comply that, because if you collect off the system, money gets into the bank, and we are not able to verify actually how much has been paid through a system, because reporting of revenue must be clearly indicated. Then another reason as to why we had that challenge is that the revenue register or data had been held by the previous system operators, which was called ZZ. The new system we are talking about is EREV. So during that period, we were not able to get proper data to have it then mapped through the system to enable us to correct. CRA is very clear in matters of collection of revenue that we cannot do it off the system. And that's actually what we are trying to do, so that we can cap this issue of what the chair is raising, that pocketing the money. If you give staff that leeway to interact with money, then you lose the money. So we want all the revenue, it's a requirement that all the revenue system actually has to be cashless. So that is why we experience that. But when you look at the current performance, Honorable Chair, we have mitigated that.
Current performance, we are looking at 2023, 2024.
I was only trying to...
And the reason why we must have this conversation is we must find out who the culprit is.
Okay.
Is it the system vendors?
Yeah.
Is it the collectors of revenue? Because there is a problem.
Sure.
There is a problem. And that problem, we must deal with it.
Okay.
So go back to single business permit, that line that you had picked. How do you explain that? And please, whereas the guidelines by CRA on automation remains a prudential guideline, we still have counties that are collecting manually. So you cannot say that you are either collecting automatically or not collecting at all. So you need to revise that. So explain to us, for example, that single business permit, which indicates that there was a 10% drop. It means that 10% of your business is shut down in an economy that should be growing at 5%. Yeah. How do you explain that? Just take that, that row.
For single business permit, Honorable Chair, a common practice for most of our taxpayers or our clients is that during that period when we issue invoices, and they tend to pay more during that time, because we also do a lot of compliance during that period, because once the invoices are issued and confirmed, now what follows is collection. Most of them normally reserve funds to pay at that period.
Remember, if it's a common practice, it was there in the prior year. That's why we are comparing 2 years where the practice has been common. So can you give us a better explanation, please?
A better explanation, Honorable Chair, is that the system was actually changed over in the period of January to March. And that is our peak period. That's what I'm explaining, Honorable Chair.
So the money that was collected between January to March, where did it go?
We have, in the receipt of revenue report, that time we actually, because we were losing a lot and we encouraged them to do offline, then later on we were able to now map them in the system.
Where did the money go?
In the bank.
Just show us here in the ROR statement where that money is.
I'm not accounting for the shortage of 10 million. I'm not saying we collected 10 million and we banked it somewhere or somebody took the money. we were not able to realize revenue collection during that period because there was a system changeover. We were affected. Not that we collected and we banked that money elsewhere, Honorable Chair.
Senator Wambua, then Senator.
Ni Gavana Natembeya huyo na ujumbe wake mbele ya kamati hapo kwenye kikaangoni, yani pale ndo huo unajulikana namna umetumia fedha zako kwa kipindi gani.